are stupid. You're not smart. You're not smart.
Hey, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Chastity. Here we talk about beauty, entertainment, celebrities, books, movies, animes, TV shows, and kind of anything else that guards my attention this week. Here's to this video, hopefully not being 45 goddamn minutes long. So, with this whole David Dobrik situation, I've been keeping a close eye on it, but I have not been making videos on it. I'm not the type of person that makes like 15, 20 videos on one situation. I like to watch, see how it all plays out, and then come with my, conclusion towards the end. It feels like at this point, from the initial, because we're going to start this video all the way back from the Seth allegations and end it to what happened last night when David Dobrik released his updated apology video. So we're going to go all the way from the start and end to last night, because I feel like now is kind of closer to the wrap up, and then this is just a situation we just have to watch and see what happens post this point. So I think let's take this back all the way to what? Early 2021, December 2020, when Seth came out and alleged that he was sexually assaulted in one of the vlog videos. As well, he mentioned being dealing with racism. That has since forth been completely swept under the rug. No one has really brought up the fact that legitimate racist things happen on that vlog, filling a refrigerator with watermelon, 2 Vlog Squad members covering their faces with peanut butter. Those have since forth been swept under the rug, but there had been allegations of racism towards Seth as well with the sexual assault. And if you don't know, there was a bit. After today, I will never use the word bit because Jeff overused that word so much in his Frenemies podcast, which we will get into that too as well. But the whole gist of the vlog was they asked him to kiss Corinna in an old man mask. They did a whole bait and switch. Instead of him kissing Corinna, it was kissing Jason Nash, who's a 40-year-old man. And Seth did not consent to that. He consented to kiss a pretty young girl and then was tricked into kissing an older man. After that situation, Scotty Sire, which there's a reason why the 2 Vlog Squad members that spoke out first were Scotty and Jeff, the most squeaky clean out of the whole crew, for good PR. Because everyone was like, well, if Scotty speaks up, it's serious. We're not stupid. You picked people to speak out that looked good for you. So, because it was really strange to me that Scotty made a video. I was like, do you work? Do you do anything? Why are you doing this? And he tried to, debunk Seth about his allegation of sexual assault. Again, not debunking any of the racism. Not the watermelon and the blackface, but the sexual assault. And being like, well, Scotty's video was terrible. It was giving very victim blamey, as well as not actually proving his point, because what we're all talking about, because multiple times Seth did a video similar to that afterwards, but he had given consent to the other videos. The first video and the video we're all talking about, and the situation we're all talking about, is a situation where nobody has proof that Seth consented to that video. That is the sexual assault. What happens in any of his actions afterwards that might not make sense to us, you have to understand. Victims don't act the way you want them to. There's no right way to be a victim, especially when you're in a situation with such a great power imbalance. David Dobrik is one of the biggest content creators. You don't want to not be on his good side. You don't want to not be in the vlog. Especially, I can understand it as a Black content creator, how difficult it is to be seen, to be heard, regardless of talent. You could be one of the best content creators, but you're Black, and you don't get as many views, as many followers. So I could get the pressure of just kind of wanting to go along with it. And especially men's friendships are very weird to me. There's a lot of power imbalance and a lot of trying to look good for big bro and all that stuff in men. That there is something I need to research, the literal power imbalances and kind of how weird male friendships are, where you try not to rock the boat, and men try very hard to kind of be cool with things that are being done to them that are horrible. And I really feel like Seth was trying to play the game and be a team player and not look like he's a buzzkill. Because a lot of people struggle with not wanting to be the buzzkill, not wanting to be the person that ends a good time. Not me though. One thing about me, I love being a buzzkill. If I'm uncomfortable, if I don't want to do something, I'm leaving. But I'm also aware not everyone can do that. You know? It's very difficult to be like, you know, to tell your friends, tell people you like, because you don't want to disappoint them. This is your guys' job. You don't want to be the person that ruins the fun time. But you have to stick up for yourself. But it's hard to. It's truly hard to. In a perfect world, it'd be so easy to stand up for yourself, but it's not. And especially when there are power imbalances involved, like David Dobrik has created in his friend group, where you want to please him and you want to make him happy. There's too much at stake. There's too much at stake going against David. So Seth, every time after that, consented. But we're focused on the first time that he did it. He felt like he was assaulted because that was not his choice. Seth, in Scotty's video, was in such poor taste. He ends up actually deleting it because he wasn't, once outside of his like following saw it, it wasn't going good for him. Because we were just like, you did not prove that the first time he consented. And that's what we're talking about. The first time is not consent. Consent can be given and withdrawn at any point in time. And the very first time, his consent was not given. The second and third time that was consented, I don't live in Seth's brain. I don't know what it's like to feel like you need to do things in order to still be a part of a group. Because a lot of people have come and gone from the vlog squad for various different reasons. Along with Seth coming out, ex-Vlog Squad member Big Nick also came out about the bullying he faced, not only in the videos, but from a lot of the audience of the vlogs, who saw that it was completely okay to make fun of Big Nick and his dwarfism and any of his disabilities, because they watched people do it in the vlogs. So that created this idea that it was completely fine to degrade him and that he went through a lot. Suicidal thoughts. It was a very horrible time for him, as well as Trisha Paytas, who's been very vocal about the vlog squad and a lot of their bad things. Now, I have a slight issue with Trisha and all of that. I will always have a slight issue with Trisha because Trisha does what a lot of people do when they have a falling out with somebody and then they expose all their secrets they were completely fine keeping when they were friends. The things that they were doing were issues while you were friends with them. And it just feels slightly advantageous that now that you're not friends, it's all out in the open and you're speaking about it. I personally don't like when people do this. If you're going to be fine with it when you're friends, shut up. Because your activism, your voice in it's not genuine. It's not. Because you had no problem being quiet when you were friends. And I'm 95% sure that up until probably the girl coming out with sexual assault, Trisha would have probably rode for all the Vlog Squad members if she was still cool with them. Now, I do believe the sexual assault probably would be where she would draw the line, hopefully. If she's a decent human being, that is where she'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm not cool with y'all no more. But I feel like if she was never, like, shunned away, up until this point, I think Trisha would have been riding. I do. Because that's how Trisha is. You saw it with her friendship with Shane Dawson and Jebediah Scuttlefish. She rode hard for them up until they turned on her. That's how person Trisha is. So I feel like there's always, all of her motives should always be suspect just because it lacks being genuine. Because you're here, because you're not friends with these people. You're speaking because you're on the outs. And it was fine when you were friends, but it's not fine now. So a few days ago, Business Insider released an article with a victim who was sexually assaulted by ex-Vlog Squad member Dirty Dom. This article, one, is behind a paywall. So if you do want to read it, it's like, I think it's like $1. It's also incredibly hard to read if you yourself have gone through sexual. Even if you haven't, it is very, very triggering. So I'm going to speak about it, but I will give detail, but not too much detail, because one, I think you should read the article if you can, and two, if you can't handle that, please know. I'll put probably in the comments a timestamp to skip over this section if you don't want to hear about the sexual assault portion of this video. So, the girl in the interview, she goes by the pseudonym of Hannah. That's how I'll be referring to her from this point forward. Hannah said that Dirty Dom had posted on his Instagram that he wanted to have like a fivesome or like group sex, and that her friends had answered to the message, but that there was no inclination that they were actually going over there to have sex with him. They just wanted to meet their favorite YouTubers. Hannah even admits that she really didn't know who they were, and that is in the original video that has since forth been deleted, that she said, like, I don't really know who you guys are. So her and her friends go over, and like in David's video in the vlog, this is how like this whole situation does not look good for David, because his little voice over him trying to be funny and comedic, where he says like very quickly, you know, there seemed to be no fivesome, but after some master negotiating, coercion, a threesome happened. Now, what Hannah and Hannah's friends state from the situation is they get there, it's very obvious that there is no sex going to happen. So David asks, now, this will also be another section in the video as well, that David had asked Jeff and Todd to go and buy some alcohol to loosen the girls up. Hell. Now, as we will find later, Jeff contests this to high heavens, that it was not him who bought the alcohol, but won't say who did it, boys club. But alcohol was brought back. Now, the girl's friend says that yes, Hannah was drinking, but then Dom was also forcing her to drink even more. So it'd be times where Hannah would be drinking of her own volition, and other times the alcohol would be like passed to her and been like, yo, keep drinking, keep drinking. There gets to be a point where Hannah is very, very intoxicated, and the negotiation works, and she and another friend is brought into a room with Dom. Now, here's where there is some contesting to what happens in the vlog, because what we see in the vlog, they look into the room while this is happening, and they're commenting about it, you know, and they're watching the sexual assault happen. Now, Jeff states from the Frenemies podcast that was a bit, hate that word now, we'll never use that word after today, that they had filmed that when there was no sex actually happening, that there was no one doing anything in the room, and everyone was fully clothed. Sure, I guess, maybe. I have no proof to disprove that, but I have no proof to prove that as well. So this is the very hard part of the article, the description of the assault. Hannah had no memories of the situation, but what we've learned from the people that were there, that she was very intoxicated to a point where in the middle of the sexual acts, she passes out. Dom does not stop, and the friend has to, in her words, finish him off so she can get him off of Hannah. After that is finished, Hannah's friend said that she had to redress her because she was completely unconscious, and they had to force her to vomit, and Hannah was in no way, shape, or form in any frame of mind to participating in any forms of sex. They get her dressed, they take her home. Hannah wakes up and has completely no idea what happens, and she says that it takes her kind of a month to kind of realize what happened to her. She then contacts Dirty Dom to tell him that you did something to me, you violated me. And as well as she contacts David Dobrik, and that gets the video down. But by that point, it has 5 million views. And I feel so horrible for her that one of the worst things that can happen to a person, she had that on the internet for the world to see. For people to laugh and make jokes about it. And I know for a fact people were slut shaming her. She's very strong. I want that to be known. She's a very strong person. Because I don't have the verbiage to explain how horrible and fucked up all of that is. Following the expose, David Dobrik releases a 2-minute apology video called Let's Talk on his side channel that has the least amount of followers of anything he has. I think it's like his Views podcast that only has like 1 million subscribers to it, where he puts up a 2-minute video called Let's Talk with the comments disabled and the likes to dislikes turned off. Great conversations happening under that video, where he spends 2 minutes, he like apologizes to Seth and then shifts blame onto everyone else for about 2 minutes. This was supposed to be the video that his lawyers, because his lawyers were in contact with the people at Business Insider, and they're like, he is going to be making a statement, don't worry. And then this 2 minutes of absolutely nothing comes out. Across the board, he is slammed across the internet. Everyone's like, what the fuck is this? What is this? Because if you do not know what the situation was, you have no idea what he's apologizing for. But he releases this 2 minutes of bullshit. We all know it's cannon fodder. He's not released. I honestly believe that up until he started losing sponsorships, he did not see what he did wrong. Because there is just no way any person with a bit of consciousness, just a soul, would hear what happened to her. And because again, she reached out to him prior to all of this, because that's how the video ends up getting deleted. So she's already told him, and he was still friends with Dom post this. It took another girl being sexually assaulted at VidCon for them to be like, oh. And even then, they were still kind of cool. I'm getting ahead of myself, but Dirty Dom belongs in prison. But again, this person, and like, let's just talk about the fact, the nature, the culture of the vlog squad. That they had someone who's their like little bit, their little thing was being someone who sexually assaulted women. A man who was a sexual deviant. That was his role. If we're gonna go with Jeff's stupid metaphor that like the vlog squad's like SNL was actually just a bad reality show, like Dirty Dom's role is to be a sexual deviant who unwantingly pushes sexual advantages onto women, and we're supposed to think that shit's funny. I just find it really interesting that like in the midst of Me Too and people being as socially conscious and multiple people being called out for sexually assaulting people, the vlogs were able to survive all of this. It is insane to me that we've had the movement we've had and David Dobrik have been able to post content like this for years. Like, is that not like insane to you that like so many people, even other YouTubers, have been taken down, but David has been posting this content for years in the midst of all of it. So, Jeff, Vlog Squad member, the one who was cited as the person that bought the alcohol for the underage girls, because most of the girls that came over were between like, 19 to 21 years old. So there were some girls that could not legally drink. And he was cited as one of the people who went and bought alcohol with him and Todd. He makes this 20-minute video defending himself. He don't do a good job. This video, there's not much to talk about. He spends most of it blaming his involvement in the article to Trisha, that Trisha is spearheading a witch hunt against him, which I feel like from all the Vlog Squad members, Trisha has had the least interactions with Jeff, so why would she do that? Also, I could already tell from this 20 minutes nothing that Jeff did not actually read the article, because not just Trisha said that that he bought alcohol, but like Hannah's two other friends corroborated that it was Jeff and Todd who left, and they came back with a bottle of Jack Daniels. That wasn't just Trisha. And since then, there have been like recordings from the interview that was conducted between the writer of the article and Jeff, where she states that the victim's friend said that he and Todd had went and bought alcohol. He spent a good portion of the time saying that it was not him. I am of the opinion, sorry, that was my notebook. I am of the opinion that Jeff did not buy the alcohol. Todd did, but because he's refusing to just fold and be like, it was not me, it was Todd, that's what's happening. I do believe he didn't buy it, but I do believe Todd did, because he like says that like, well Todd, you know, may not have bought it, but like he does drink Jack Daniels. Just snitch on your friend. Like, you're halfway snitching, just finish it off. So like I am of the opinion that Todd actually bought it, and then that's what happened. But Jeff is being cited as the person, I guess, because he seems really. Here's the thing with Jeff. Jeff's involvement is so minuscule to the overarching issue here of Dirty Dom being a sexual predator, and David Dobrik fostering a atmosphere that's completely okay to sexually assault women, and creating a boys club, creating a type of environment where you don't feel comfortable speaking up for yourself because you don't want to be that fucking person. Jeff plays a part. Buying those girls alcohol was a problem, you know? But again, so many people in college can be a Jeff buying underage people alcohol. It's what you do when you have underage friends. That's why, like, I feel like no one would have gone so hard at Jeff, because when you were in college, you had a friend like Jeff that was older, and if you wanted alcohol, you'd go to them and they'd buy it for you. But he plays such a small role, but since he's kind of taken it on, like, he's too busy trying to defend people who weren't defending themselves. Jeff could have easily sat quiet, lost a couple sponsorships, and then bounced right back. But he's decided to jump full force in this, where it's like, you didn't assault any girls. Why are you playing such a big role in it? You look stupid, you look dumb. And again, the blaming of Trisha, where it's like, read the article. That's the thing. Jeff decides to be reactionary without reading. He's not very smart, not very bright. As well as he was blaming the author, which he has to understand. The way he was speaking was very much so discrediting the entire article. Saying that she lied and manipulated you for just your section, why would that not stop her from doing that with the rest of the article? Like, you see, if you just used what's in between your head, you would understand saying those type of words about an article that's about a girl being sexually assaulted, while you're here being like, I believe the victim. The optics don't look good in that case, Jeff. It looks bad. David Dobrik has also been deleting hundreds of hours of vlog content, but the internet is forever, so there's compilations from like years ago of his old stuff. So it was a nice try, but not good enough. And since there's been a lot of moments in the vlog that have people looking back at it like, how the fuck have we just let this go for this whole time? Which, I don't know how y'all let this happen. Personally, I've never been a fan. Like, I've tried to get into his content, but like something just simply didn't feel right. I forgot what vlog it was in particular that made me uncomfortable, but I was like, yeah, this is white people shenanigans for sure. I don't belong here. But yes, David, deleting content doesn't do anything. There's compilations going all the way back to like, what, 2016 maybe, from vlog stuff. Like, girl, let it go. Except you've been caught. Before we get into the Frenemies podcast, I want to say that I genuinely do feel like Trisha should have done more. I just feel, because Trisha and Jason were there at the beginning of it, and then they end up leaving. after David had asked Jason to buy alcohol, and Trisha was like, "You're not buying girls, you're not buying alcohol. There's underage girls here, not doing it." And then they left. And that's my issue. She left. She left young girls to defend themselves against predatory men. I really feel like she should have stayed and monitored and made sure nothing went down. I'm not blaming the assault on Trisha at all. It's Dirty Dom Davis' fault. 100%. But I do feel like, just like as women, since we can't expect men to protect us, we have to protect each other. We have to. You have to be your sister's keeper, as corny as that fucking sounds. No one's going to protect women. Like, this is the world we live in. We're unprotected. So when you have the opportunity to protect another woman, another girl, someone, especially someone younger than you, be a big sister. You should have told these girls that they need to go home. That this atmosphere, this energy, this power imbalance of fans and content creator, they should not be here. And I feel like Trisha should have been the adult that she claims she is. Because I'm not solely blaming this on Trisha, because Trisha absolutely has stated that she feels guilty for her part in this. I'm happy she's feel guilty, but she doesn't feel guilty enough to me. I really feel like she should have did more. I do. Because I just believe in protecting other women when you can't. Because again, who else is going to do it? Nobody. So we have to help each other when we can. But that could be me just being a little nitpicky, wanting more from somebody. Again, it's easier said than done, you know? It's very easy for me to be here saying that and not being there. I don't feel indebted to David. Because white man, me, indebted to hell. No, would rather eat cement. So let's move on to the train wreck that happened on the Frenemies podcast. Jeff should have kept his ass home. This was single-handedly the worst thing to ever happen. Incriminating himself. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. I just simply cannot believe what happened. So, Trisha and Ethan, you know, the Frenemies podcast, they were talking about it. Jeff called in. They were to interview him, whatever. I'm sorry. I'm breathing. I can't wrap my mind around any of this. Jeff gets on. I like how Ethan clocked this, that Jeff was trying to be very charming in the beginning of the interview, because I clocked that shit too. I saw him, I was like, I know this man is not trying to win over the audience with his old corny ass jokes, trying to be all suave and shit. Listen, Ethan and me, we see each other, because I was like not feeling that at all. So, we get into the interview. It's so interesting to me, and I feel like they mentioned it during the podcast, that they talked about that Jeff states that the writer of the article is a liar, but he's done nothing but lie since we got here. Jeff says that he was not there the whole night, that he had no clue what happened, that he had no idea what had happened at all, because he left. He first stated that he was only there for 15 minutes, which then got extended to like 30 minutes, you know, to like film the bit or whatever. Ethan had this man in 4K. Do you hear me? In 4K. Well, he pulls up this picture, time-stamped at 1:18 a.m. that same night. And in that picture, you see David, Jeff, Todd, and then you have the three girls. One of them, who is Hannah, who's very clearly inebriated and being held up by her friends. Time-stamped at 1:18. But Jeff said he went home. And the girls stated they arrived around 11 o'clock at night. And now it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Jeff was trying to say that maybe like he left but then came back, because, you know, he lives a block away and sometimes David calls them at all hours to, you know, film. But it's like, you're lying. You're lying. You were there for the entirety of the result. Now, do I believe Jeff was aware it was happening? Well, probably not. But as someone who at the time was 30, you saw all of this happening, and as the adult, the actual adult in the room, you're like, girls who are barely old enough to drink, a lot of alcohol, going into rooms, coercion, this, not a good look. At no way, shape, or form did he see what was happening and was like, This is a horrible thing waiting. It's a car accident waiting to happen. None of that. At big age of 30. Nothing firing off in the synapses whatsoever. How do you see this situation as like, yup, this is a good idea? But yeah, Jeff lies. Jeff fucking lies. He was there the whole night. Because you can't explain to me, why would you leave and come back? And then he does this thing where he was like, well, none of us stayed the whole night, but there you are when it's time to leave. It don't look good for you, Jeff. It don't. Please go on Twitter and look for clips of this section of the podcast, because Jeff's face stuck on stupid when they showed him the time stamp picture with him, David, Todd, and Dom and the drunk girls. He was just like, huh? Excuse me? Because you look stupid. You look foolish. Lying when there's proof. Ethan did what he had to do his interview. He was not playing softball. He was not being nice to Jeff, because Jeff was purposely lying and purposely being stupid. So Jeff, for no reason than I would believe to humiliate Trisha, brings up the time that she attempted suicide and that him, David, and Jason had to go visit her in the hospital. Don't know why this was brought up. I truthfully, honestly don't, besides Jeff being a terrible fucking person. Also, it's not lost on me that Jeff felt like it was completely okay to unprovokingly bring up Trisha's attempted suicide, but when Trisha wants to talk about what happened to his eye, it's like, it's too traumatic to talk. I just can't. Not right now. I'm not ready. But you can talk about the time she almost killed herself? Are you... The devil is what I'm hearing. So that's off limits, but not her harming herself. Men are a terrorist organization. I swear to God they are, because this doesn't make any sense. Terrorizing. So last night, around 1 a.m. my time, so what, 10, like Cali time, David Dobrik had released an updated apology video just entitled March 22nd, 2021. There, he gives us a much better and appropriate apology. It don't make it good. Like, y'all were giving this apology far too much credit than what it needed to be given. Because, again, he's apologizing for allowing multiple girls to be sexually assaulted under his watch. That's what he's apologizing for. He's apologizing for creating an environment that people did not feel comfortable saying no. That the idea of saying no to David Dobrik and his friends was a horrible thing to do. Like, I feel like y'all just like, it was a good apology. But do you understand the reason why he has to apologize? That the things he created, an apology just won't do. Like, girls' lives have been... Because there are a whole bunch of girls on TikTok coming forward about being sexually assaulted by Dom. Okay? His actions and the culture he's created with his group of friends has allowed for multiple girls to be assaulted, allegedly. Allegedly. Got a David Dobrik lawyer team, allegedly. David Dobrik, Inc., don't sue me. Allegedly, multiple girls have been assaulted. That's what he's apologizing for letting girls be assaulted. I'm going to not talk about the entire apology video. It's 7 minutes long. It's not worth my fucking time. He does mention that, like, it was hard for him to accept the fact that his childhood friend, was assaulting girls, which this right here is my issue with men as a whole. Because I don't know what's so hard to understand. Do you believe people who are assaulters, sexual or violence-wise, abuse everyone around them? Of course not. Then they wouldn't get away with the shit they get away with. They're good friends and good people to you. So when they're in situations like this, you'll blindly defend them. Because you just couldn't fathom somebody that was your friend could do something like this. And because of that, this is where rape culture comes in. This is how it all comes into fucking play. Because you just can't believe one of my friends, even though when y'all speak about women, it's violent. When there are girls who are not part of your friend group that join the vlogs, whether they're fans or whether they're other social media people or celebrities, the women are always the butt of the joke, of sexual jokes. The jokes you make at women are at their expense. Women are jokes to you. That is why you feel it's okay to offer women money in order to have sex with people. Like, this is a running thing he does in his fucking videos, where he'll be like, so how much money to get you to have sex with Jason? How much money to get you to fuck Dom? How much money to get you to have sex with Jonah? He sees women as whores. You can't tell me he doesn't. That women have a price, and if you give them enough money, they'll do something for you. That's what he showed us in all of his fucking videos. That if you give people money, they'll do whatever you want. He states that before this situation, he had no clue what power dynamics were, which could be true, but he was operating in them. Again, giving people money. Something people want. People need. We live in a capitalist society. Money talks. Knowing that people have a price, and if you give them just enough, they'll do whatever the fuck you want for them. Power and balance. Him, again, inviting fans. Listen, this is a conversation that we need to keep having on YouTube, that you cannot have sex with your fans. That is a gross abuse of power. These are people, because parasocial relationships are so goddamn strong. People will do pretty much anything if they like you. If they're a fan of you, they look up to you, they allow so much. So you having this power over someone, nothing you ever do could be consensual. Nothing. Stop fucking your fans. Stop grooming your fans. Leave them alone. Leave your fans alone. Your fans are not your dating pool, are not your pool of sexual partners. Because you're doing this on fucking purpose. Like, and for someone who does not understand power and balance, he operates in them. Consistently creating situations where there's always a power imbalance that always tilts in his favor. Like Ethan said in the not my brain blanking, in the Frenemies podcast, there's something dangerous about a person who does not drink but surrounds himself with drunk people. He's consistently putting himself in a place of power in all of his relationships. Whether it's with fans, other people, or just drunk people, and him being the only person of sober mind and sober body. David has consistently kept the power in balance. But again, for someone who doesn't know about them, operates pretty well in them. It blows my mind that y'all could sit here and listen to his apology and be like, that's good enough. He's not that bad of a person. Women have been assaulted. He was friends with Dom even after she contacted him. Another girl said she was assaulted by him, and they still didn't want to believe her at first. You cannot put anything past anyone. Because my thing is, you created Dirty Dom. You gave him a platform to assault as many girls as he wanted, and y'all turned it into a fucking joke. You joked about Brandon dating that 17-year-old girl. I'm not even gonna get into that fucking situation. That situation was when the pendulum kind of swung out of the Vlog Squad favor. Because it was like the first time I had really seen something happen within the Vlog Squad that like not everybody was on their side. It was very interesting to see happen. But I really feel like that was the first thing that needed to happen. And then since then, everything has kind of been a shift in the world. And that's why we were able to get to this point. But David, y'all chicken heads who are like, this was such a good apology. Like, he really seemed sincere. I'm happy you're sincere after multiple girls have been attacked. Thank you. The lives of multiple girls have been changed because of this culture you created and the culture you kept putting on the fucking platform. I'm happy you feel bad now. I'm happy that after losing a bunch of sponsorships, you realize, oh, I need to get my fucking act together. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you, actually. So, like, my neighbors have decided in the middle of the day that we're just gonna do grass shit. So sorry if you can hear them in the background. I'm gonna try, but I'm pretty much done anyway, so at least they win, so I was done with the video. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What do you guys think about this whole situation? How disgusted you are with everyone? How does it feel to know, like, all of this was on the internet for years and it's just now? This is Smokey Glow said in her video that this gives, like, Shane Dawson. She's kind of right. Again, it was there for us to see, and we were like, what do you look? Well, not. But, like, the white people were like, well, what's happening? I can't see anything. And that's all pretty interesting. When is Todd going to be exposed? Because Todd is gross and disgusting too, but y'all allow him to be that way because he's attractive. Listen, Todd, Dom, Jason, Dave, just tell me when. Because all y'all gross and disgusting. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Hopefully this wasn't too long. I hope it's not. Bye, guys.